Today, we're diving into what's being called the Ethereum endgame. And look, this isn't just another upgrade we're talking about. This is a complete, radical reimagining of the entire network. It's the blueprint for how it's going to operate for decades to come. So, what does this future actually look like? For years, there's been this one massive question hanging over Ethereum. How does it solve its biggest problem? You know the one, scaling to meet global demand. The network has kind of become a victim of its own success, right? Which leads to those insane fees and congestion. Well, the answer they've come up with, as we're about to see, is both super elegant and incredibly ambitious. And let's be super clear about this. We are not talking about some simple software patch or a minor tweak. What we're exploring here is an entirely new architecture, a fundamental redesign of Ethereum's whole purpose in the digital world.
Okay, so let's kick things off with this new architecture. This is really where you see the fundamental shift in purpose. Ethereum is basically moving away from being a do-it-all computer to becoming something way more specialized, and honestly, way more powerful.
This right here is the new modular stack. The best way to think about it is like a highly specialized team. First up, you've got Layer 1. That's the main Ethereum blockchain, and its job is now focused on just one thing, providing absolute, rock-solid security. Then you have the Layer 2s. They do all the heavy lifting, all the transaction execution, running the apps, all that stuff. And then at the end, Ethereum steps back in to provide the final, undisputed settlement. It becomes the ultimate source of truth for everything that just happened on those Layer 2s.
So this brings us to Ethereum's new core identity. It's becoming a settlement layer. What on earth does that mean? Well, it means Ethereum is now the foundational bedrock for the whole ecosystem. It's the layer that guarantees the security and the finality of all the transactions that are happening somewhere else. So instead of trying to do all the work itself, it just focuses on making sure the work done by others is secure and final.
This new job as a settlement layer gives Ethereum three really important new roles. It becomes the ecosystem's trust anchor, the thing everyone can rely on. It also acts as this neutral coordination engine for all the other layers built on top of it. And, like we said, it serves as that final, unchangeable record, the ultimate source of truth.
Okay, so that's the high-level theory. But what does this new architecture actually mean for you as a user? Let's get practical for a minute and talk about what this scaling solution will actually feel like day to day.
Ah, yes. If you've used Ethereum during a busy period, you know this feeling. You know it all too well. Transaction fees that can cost several dollars, sometimes tens, or even hundreds of dollars. It just makes small transactions totally impractical. And honestly, it's been the single biggest roadblock to mass adoption.
Well, in this new layered future, that roadblock just evaporates. We're moving from a world of dollar fees to a world of cent fees, like the 2 cents you see right here. I mean, that kind of dramatic cost reduction changes absolutely everything. It just blows the doors open for entirely new types of applications. The goal here is actually pretty simple when you boil it down. Create a totally seamless, ridiculously low-cost network experience for everybody. And the way you get there is by moving almost all the user activity, your swaps, your NFT mints, your interactions, onto these specialized Layer 2s and eventually even Layer 3s, all while Ethereum just hums along quietly in the background, keeping everything secure.
In this quote right here, it perfectly captures the whole vision. The complexity of all these layers and settlements, it should all become invisible. For the average person, it should just work. Fast, cheap, secure, and you never have to waste a single brain cell thinking about whether you're on a Layer 2 or talking to the base layer. It's all about that seamless experience.
Now, low fees for individuals is a huge deal for sure. But this new architecture unlocks something even bigger. It literally paves the way for institutional adoption and could potentially reshape global finance as we know it.
Once you solve the scaling problem, the possibilities just explode. We're talking about global payment systems that are way faster and cheaper than anything in traditional finance. We're talking about tokenizing real-world assets, like real estate, on a massive global scale. And maybe most profound of all, we're talking about building financial systems on-chain that can operate with Ethereum security, but at a nation-state level. It's huge. So this kind of makes you wonder, right? If this future is still being built out, why are so many huge financial institutions and corporations jumping in and building on this technology right now? And here's the simple answer. They see the writing on the wall. They are not building for the network of today. They are building for the network of tomorrow. They're laying the groundwork for a future financial system that has the horsepower to operate at a truly global scale. As they say, they're skating to where the puck is going.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. The main idea to really get your head around is that we are heading towards a layered future.
And the key concept here is expansion, not replacement.
You hear this all the time. It's a super common misconception to see Layer 2s as competitors to Ethereum, or that they're trying to replace it. This slide makes the real story clear. The goal isn't to replace Ethereum at all. It's to expand its capabilities, to build new floors on top of its incredibly strong foundation.
At the end of the day, this is a deeply collaborative system. You have Layer 2s that are delivering the scale we need right now, today. In the future, you're going to see Layer 3s pop up that offer even more specialized things, like enhanced privacy or features for specific apps. And through it all, at the very bottom of the entire stack, you have Ethereum, securing the whole shebang. Every layer has a job, and they all work together.
And that brings us to the final, crucial takeaway. That old narrative of Ethereum killers just completely misses the point of this new architecture. This isn't a war between different chains. It's a collaborative, layered future, where specialization and security work hand in hand to build a truly global network. So the question isn't who is going to win, it's how all these layers are going to build that future together.
Subscribe and visit Web3 Newswire for visibility and credibility of your Web3 projects.